Before you say I do, ask these 13 questions, because love is not enough where real life hits. These questions could be the difference between forever and divorce. Hi everyone, welcome to Relationship Mysteries. In today's video, we'll be breaking down 13 questions every couple must answer before walking down the aisle, so that your marriage can start strong and stay unshakable. Before I will continue with this video, I want you to subscribe to this channel and I want you to turn on the notification button so that you can get my videos whenever you upload new ones. And I equally want you to drop a comment in the comment section below and equally like this video. Before I will continue with this video, I want you to get a paper and a notebook that you use to jot down these questions. Because if you are looking forward to accepting to be a marriage with anybody in life while you are still in a relationship with that person, there are 13 questions that you need to consider before finalizing whether you will get married to that man or whether you will get married to that woman. Number one question that you need to consider, that you need to ask yourself before accepting to get married to anybody in life, is that you need to answer the question of family origin and background. In fact, you must answer this question, because I see a lot of people usually don't bother to answer the question of family origin and background, because they are in love. They tend to forget the most important thing. So if you are going to be in a relationship, and then while you are still in relationship with that man or that woman, you are considering that tomorrow that you are going to get married to them, then you need to answer the question of family origin. And inside the question of family origin, there are 4 questions that you must answer if you are going to get it right in your marital decision. Number 1 question is that you need to answer the question of family ideology or belief that governs the family of your intended partner. You need to know the type or the kind of ideology or belief that governs the family of the person that you want to marry or the person you are getting married to, as regards in the area of marriage, if you want to get it right. The reason why a lot of people get it wrong in the area of marriage is that they don't tend to consider this aspect. What kind of belief, what kind of ideology governs the family of the man or the woman that you want to be with in marriage? You need to answer that question. And then you need to ask yourself whether the person that you want to get married to or the man that wants to marry you, is he coming from a family that supports evil? You need to ask yourself that question and you need to answer that question. You need to find out whether the person is coming from a family that supports evil. And then you need to ascertain whether the person is coming from a family that has moral discipline or not. Is he or she coming from a family that has moral discipline, or a family that does not believe in the discipline or in the upbringing of their children? You need to ask yourself that question. Because what it means is that if they are coming from a family that believes in strong moral discipline, definitely they are going to raise children that are morally sound. And that means a whole lot to you as a person. Because if your partner came from a family that believes in moral discipline, that means there is 90% chance that they will be morally sound. But if they are coming from a family that does not believe in moral discipline of their children, it spells doom for anyone that wants to enter into marriage with that person. And under this section of family background, the last question you need to ask yourself is that you need to ascertain whether their parents are still together. If their parents are not still together, You need to find out the reason why their parents are not together. The second questions you must ask before entering into a marriage with anyone is that you need to ask the question to find out the type of heart and spirit that the person you want to marry has. What kind of heart and what type of spirit does he or she have? And under this category, you need to ask yourself these 4 questions. Very important. Please don't play with this thing I'm saying. I'm telling you the reason why a lot of marriages are breaking up today, why a lot of marriages are failing. Why? Because people fail to ask these questions. Under this category of finding out the type of heart and spirit that the person you want to get married to has, is that you need to ascertain whether they have a forgiving spirit. There are people that don't have a forgiving spirit. So you need to find out whether the person you want to marry or you want to get married to, whether he or she has a forgiving spirit or whether they have an unforgiving spirit. Number 2 is that you need to ascertain whether they are the type of people that can bear grudges for a long time. You know, there are people that can bear grudges for a long time. You need to find out whether the person has a wayward heart. If someone has a wayward heart, it will be very difficult for the person to stay faithful to his or her partner in marriage. So you need to ascertain whether the person has a wayward heart or the person is the type of partner that will stay faithful to you in marriage. If the person has a wayward heart, what it means is that the person will not be faithful to you in that marriage. Another question that you need to ask is that you need to find out whether they are naturally promiscuous. There are people that have a promiscuous spirit in them. You need to find that out. Even if you like, do anything you want to do for them, a life or a relationship. Once they enter into marriage with you, they will always be promiscuous. You even find out that while you are still in relationship with them, to even stay with you in that relationship will be very difficult. And when you end up getting married to them or marrying this type of people, they will not be faithful to you in marriage. Why? Because they have a promiscuous spirit in them. So you need to ask these 4 types of questions under this category of finding out the type of heart and the spirit that your intended partner has. The third question to ask before you enter into a marriage with anybody, so you will not have to say the word divorce later in life, is that you need to ask the question of sex. Under this question of sex, you need to find out whether they are highly sexual in nature, whether your sexual energy can match with theirs. You need to find that out. I need to know whether they have a high sexual libido or high sexual drive in life. I need to equally find out whether you are compatible with their sexual energy. Because I see a lot of people, when they are in relationship with a man or a woman, and they are about to enter into marriage with these people, they don't tend to find out or ask the question of sex. That is after marriage that the issue of sex will start becoming a problem to them in that marriage. So if you are going to get married to a man or you are going to marry a woman tomorrow, you need to find out whether you are compatible with them in the area of sex. The 4th type of question that you must ask before entering into marriage with anybody tomorrow, so you don't have to say the word divorce, is that you need to ask the question of drinks and drugs. Are they given to excessive drinking? Are they the type of people that are given to excessive drinking? Are they the type of people that are given to drugs? So if you know you cannot be compatible, you are not comfortable with someone that drinks excessively in life, or you are not comfortable with someone that is given to drugs. Maybe the person smoke, or the person likes taking cocaine, or the person likes taking heroin. Then you need to ask yourself this question. You need to find out. Because if you don't find out these things I'm telling you right now, it could be a problem with that person later on in life in their marriage. So you need to find out. You don't need to enter marriage blindly. You need to ask these questions so that someone does not take you by surprise tomorrow. The fifth type of questions you need to ask before entering into marriage with anybody, so you will not have to say the word divorce later, is that you need to find out their attitude towards work. Yes. Are they hardworking in life? Is he or she lazy when it comes to work in life? You need to find that out. You need to find out their attitude towards work, whether they are the type of people that like working, or whether they are the type of people that are naturally lazy. You need to find it out. Don't say, I love him or I love her, that I'm going to marry her, I'm going to get married to him. It doesn't matter. It matters because if that person is lazy, then how will he be able to take care of the family? If the woman is lazy and the woman does not like to work, what it means is that the whole body and demands of the family will be on you as the man. And if the whole burden and demand is on you in life, what it means is that sooner or later, that thing can weigh you down. And if it weighs you down, you can begin to look for ways to separate from that woman in that marriage. So you need to find out their attitude towards work. I need to know whether they are the type of people that are naturally lazy, or whether they are the type of people that are naturally hardworking. The sixth type of question that you need to find out is that you need to ask the question of work and profession. What is the nature of their work? Are you proud of their profession, or are you proud of their work? If you are not proud of their profession, or you know you are not proud of their work, then why do you want to enter into marriage with that man or woman tomorrow? I see a lot of people make this mistake. You want to step into marriage with a man, you want to step into marriage with a woman, and then you don't want to care, you don't want to find out about the nature of their work or profession, whether you are proud of their work or whether you are proud of their profession. Because if you are not proud of the work that they are doing, or you are not proud of the kind of profession they are into, what it means is that sooner than later, you might be tempted to start complaining in that marriage about what they are doing. Find out what they are doing as a source of living. If you don't want to encounter divorce tomorrow in life, don't say it doesn't matter. It matters. You cannot enter into marriage without finding out the type of work or the nature of profession the person that you want to marry is into. You need to find that out. The sixth type of question you need to ask before entering into marriage with anybody in life is that you need to ask the question of company or association. Who is their friend? What kind of people do they like hanging out with? You need to answer this question. Not only answering this question, you need to ask them, you need to find out the type of people they like keeping as their friends. And you need to find out the type of people they like hanging out with. Where do they like going to? Where do they like going out with this type of people? You need to find that out. Because whether you like it or not, you are an average of 3 of your friends. The type of friends you keep in life will always affect your life. It will always affect your ideology, it will always affect your belief system, and it will always affect your lifestyle. So you need to find out the type of people they keep as their friends, and you need to find out the places they like going to in life with those kind of people. Because there are marriages that have failed today, not because the people that were in that marriage wanted their marriage to fail. No, it was the influence of their friends that made their marriage to fail. So you need to find out the type of people they like keeping as their friends. The seventh type of question you need to ask before entering into marriage with anyone in life is that you need to find out whether they are people that like giving. Yes, you need to ask the question of giving, especially for the women. Because if you get married to a man that is naturally stingy, you will suffer in that marriage. You need to find out whether the man or whether the woman you will intend to marry tomorrow, whether they are givers. I always tell people, marriage will always succeed when you have two givers in that marriage. If two stingy people are in a marriage, that marriage will fail. So you need to find out whether they are natural givers or whether they are givers or whether they are stingy people. And then you need to find out whether the man or woman, whether they are wasters or whether they are preservers. There are people that are naturally wasters in life. They like wasting resources. So you need to find out whether the man or the woman you want to marry, whether they are wasters or whether that person is a preserver, whether they have that ability to keep and save things. You need to ask that question. And also, you need to find out whether they are wise managers of resources. If they don't know how to manage your resources, then I want to ask you a question now. How will that marriage succeed? How will that marriage thrive? So you need to find out whether they are wise managers of resources. The eighth type of question you need to ask is that you need to find out what is their vision like in life. What kind of value governs their life? I need to find out what kind of mission do they want to execute in life. You need to find out about their life purpose. You need to find out about their life values. You need to find out what they are living for. So you need to find out what they are living for. You need to find out what they intend to fulfill or what they intend to achieve in life. Because love is not enough to sustain marriage. So you need to ask the question of vision. You need to ask the question of value, and you need to ask the question of mission. Because these three questions are very important if that marriage is going to succeed tomorrow. The ninth type of question you need to ask before entering into marriage with anyone in life is you need to ask the question of morality. Very important. What is their character like? You cannot underestimate the power of character in marriage. If the character of that man is good, or if the character of that woman is good, there is 99.9% that that marriage will survive. So you need to ask the question of character. What is their behavior like? What is their temperament? Are they violent? Are they abusive? You need to find out these four types of questions I'm asking you right now. Are they violent? Are they the kind of people that are abusive? What is their temperament like? What is their behavior like? What is their character like? The 10th type of question you need to ask before entering into marriage with anyone, so you don't have to say the word divorce later, is that you need to find out the type of thinking pattern that governs their life. What do I mean by this? You need to ask that question to find out the kind of thoughts that governs the life of the person that you want to get married to. You need to find out whether you are compatible with their thinking pattern. Are you compatible with their thinking pattern? If you are not compatible with their thinking pattern, please don't enter into marriage with them. Whether you like it or not, at the end of the day, it is a person's thinking pattern that will govern the life of that person. You cannot separate a man or a woman from their thinking pattern. So you need to find out the type of thinking pattern that governs the life of the man or the woman that you intend marrying tomorrow. And you need to find out whether you are compatible with that person's thinking pattern. I equally need to find out how do they think in life, because there are people that have poverty mentality and there are people that have prosperity mentality. There are people that believe that they can cheat on their partner, whether they're in a relationship with you or whether they are in marriage with you. It does not matter. They don't know the difference between relationship and marriage. So if you find yourself in relationship or marriage with this type of individuals, they don't mind cheating on you because to them it means nothing. So you need to ascertain the level of their thinking. You need to find out the type of thinking pattern or mentality that guides their life. So you will not return back tomorrow to begin to say the word divorce. Oh, I want to divorce him. I want to divorce her in that marriage. No, you need to find out the type of thinking pattern that governs their life. The 11th type of question you need to find out is that you need to ask the question of physical appearance and hygiene. Are they the type of people that know how to take care of themselves physically? You need to ask that question. What kind of thing attracts you physically in a person? You need to find that out. What attracts you to that person? What attracts you to that woman? What attracted you to that lady? What attracts you to people in life, especially the people of the opposite sex? You need to ask that question. How do they dress? How do they smell? Are they given to hygiene? Are they people that are naturally given to cleanliness? Are they people that are given to being dirty? You need to find that thing out. You need to ask the question of physical appearance. Whether you will be proud of their physical looks or whether you will not be proud of their physical looks. Because the truth is that when it comes to the issue of marriage, physical appearance will always attract people to you. But what will make that person to stay with you in that marriage is character. So when it comes to the issue of intimacy, physical appearance matters. And that's why you need to ask yourself that question. There are men that like slim ladies, and there are other men that like chubby women. And there are women that will tell you that they cannot get married to a man that is not tall. They like a man that is tall. And there are women that like fat men, and there are women that like slim men. So the question of physical appearance and hygiene must be answered. So you don't have to say the word divorce tomorrow. How do they dress? Are you comfortable with their dressing code, the way they dress, their pattern of dressing? Are you proud of their dressing pattern? How do they smell? How do they walk? All these things are very important. The 12th type of question you need to ask, so you don't have to say the word divorce later on in life, is that you need to find out whether you are spiritually compatible with them. And you equally need to find out whether you are comfortable and compatible with their religion. If you are a Christian, will you be compatible with a Muslim or a Hindu or somebody that is practicing Buddhism or somebody that is given to African traditional religion? You need to find out all these things. Don't underestimate the power of religion and spirituality in the area of marriage. These things are very, very important. Because at the end of the day, it is religion that gives people ideology. So what it means to say is that if that person is in a religion that does not tolerate, a religion that is not given to forgiveness, the person will find it difficult to forgive you as his or her partner in life. So you need to find out whether you are spiritually compatible with that person when it comes to the issue of spirituality. And you need to find out whether you are compatible with that person's religion. so that tomorrow the issue of religion and spirituality will not be a problem in that marriage. Then the 13th type of question that you need to find out is that you need to find out whether that person is a lover of God or whether the person is not a lover of God, especially for Christians. If you know that you are a believer, then why do you want to marry someone that is not a lover of God? Because, for instance, if you are getting married to a man and that man is a believer, that man is a lover of God, why the woman is not a lover of God? How will that marriage succeed? Because if you are talking about going to church, the lady is talking about going to club or nightclub. Are you seeing there is already a discrepancy between both of you and your ideologies in life? And if you have different conflicting ideologies in life, how will that marriage survive? So you need to find out whether the person you want to marry or whether the woman you want to marry or whether the man you want to get married to is a lover of God. If you know you are not a lover of God, and if you marry someone that loves God, someone that like keeping to the word of God, or someone that like keeping to the principles of God, then you are going to have issues with that person. Why? Because if the person does not like lying, but you are a professional when it comes to the issue of lies, because you don't fear God, then how will that marriage succeed? I always tell people, try as much as possible to marry your look alike. If you are a lover of God and the person is not a lover of God, every Sunday you'll be dragging the person to church. You are the one encouraging the man to go to church, or you are the one encouraging the woman to go to church. How long will you keep on doing that in marriage? Is it not better that you marry someone that loves God the way you love God? If you know you don't want anything, or you are an atheist, you don't want anything to do with God, then why do you want to marry a man or a woman that loves God? Both of you are going to have serious issues in that marriage. If you know you have watched this video to this point, you have been able to write down these 13 questions you need to ask before entering into marriage with anyone in life. Please, I want you to subscribe to this channel. I would like you to like this video, and I equally want you to turn on the notification button so that you get to see my videos whenever I upload new ones. And I want you to drop a comment in the comment section below. And I want you to watch the next video that is coming up. 13 signs that will show that your relationship will lead to marriage, even if they are not talking wedding with you. I want you to watch this next video.